Now, before I get started on this, I don't want to say rant. Let's just say honest critique on Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm actually one of the minorities who actually liked the movie. I think it had elements in it that actually worked. There were some emotional scenes and intense scenes, especially when Gore came around. And I think the fight scenes were pretty cool. But if you tell me to list my top 20 MCU movies, I don't think it will make it in the top 20. Now in this video, I'll be talking about the deleted scenes in the movie and talk about how they actually butchered this movie. Yes, I used butchered. How Taika butchered this movie even more so than Gore did in the movie. The first deleted scene is during the early parts of the movie.
This is an alternate take on Star-Lord and Mantis going to Thor for help in fighting off the invaders on the planet.
They help those people.
Hello, Guardians.
As you expected, Taika just sprinkled all these comedic lines and tried to make the scene even much funnier than it should be.
Hey, guys!
And it's so funny to me that Star-Lord himself, Peter Quill, is the only one who is serious in this movie. Well, apart from Gore. And do you know what makes the scene even worse?
You know what? Fine. You sit here. Let's go. This way they'll make a statue of me when I save the planet. You stay there and don't be a hero. Wait, hold on.
Yes, Thor, who has been fighting for thousands of years, helped hundreds and thousands of people, is a god for Christ's sakes. And this is the reason why he decided to go and help. Not because he wanted to help the people because they were in need, but because they will build Star-Lord a statue and that he will not be a hero. Like, what? Let's just move on to another scene. So the next deleted scene continues with this previous scene that I just showed you guys, but this time is an alternate take of the one that we got in the movie. So in this scene, Thor arrives to help. They now walk through the trenches in this ongoing battle and there's just jokes everywhere. Thor is making fun and light of the situation. Like, people are dying all around him and he's joking around.
Look at this guy. Sleeping on the job, are we? Lazy bones. He's dead.
Star-Lord is making a point about him helping out, and as always, what does Taika do? Come on, let's insert another joke into it. You can see that these two scenes are just meaningless. This Thor is even worse than the one we saw in the first movie. At least in the first movie, he was actually helping people and wanting to conquer realms and all that. Here, through all the trials that he's gone through, he's still like this. And this is the case where you don't blame the character, you blame the writer. Let's move on to the next scene. This is the hospital scene, and this time an extended version. I think this hospital scene was one of the emotional parts of the movie for me, even though Taika tried to insert some jokes in it. But I think Thor confessing his love to Jane again, them having this moment, it was cool. But in the extended scene or alternate version of this, Zeus actually appears in the hospital. Yes, we thought he died, but at the end of the movie, in the post-credit scene, we saw that he was actually alive. But in this alternate take, they were going to reveal that yeah, he hadn't died and that he was going to come and help. And as always, Taika had to insert this joke. He's been standing there behind the curtain and he's been listening to what they are saying, eating an ice cream when Gore is presumably killing other gods and has kidnapped the children and is also looking for eternity. Thank God they also had the sense to delete this one, because it was going to make this one of the few emotional scenes like this to be filled with unnecessary jokes. The next scene follows after this alternate take where Zeus is actually teaching Thor to open his heart and wield his thunderbolt. He's actually teaching Thor to wield his weapon. I think that was a pretty good scene, but I guess they wanted to delete this and set up Hercules versus Thor in his next movie. So this scene could have actually painted Zeus in a different light than the arrogant, self-centered one that we saw before Thor presumably killed him. Jane was also going to accompany him in this part of the scene instead of her, staying in the hospital and coming back later to save him at the later part where he fights Gore. The next deleted scene is Thor, Valkyrie, and Korg arriving in the city of the gods for the first time and meet one of Zeus's son, and as you guessed it, just jokes throughout the whole scene. You watch it and it's just so unbelievable that this movie, like 90% is just filled with jokes. Here's one deleted scene of Christian Bale which could have made the movie a whole lot better. It shows Gore actually mutilating himself, scarring his body through his journey and being bonded with the sword, which could have been an interesting scene or scenes to see, because we saw him the first time with no such thing on his body, but his next scenes he's full of scars and there's goo coming out of his mouth. Like, how can you delete scenes of an actor or a villain going through his own little arc and journey, pursuit of his own mission? We barely got any of it. This could have been a scene of pain, a scene of mourning, him actually mourning the loss of his daughter and also struggling with the necro sword actually taking over him, sometimes his reasoning. Christian Bale, I really feel bad for the guy. He sat there hours in a makeup chair. He's also a phenomenal actor, and they just cut some of the scenes that actually could have made the movie better. Less comedy, but great and dark, and make the movie actually look like what they are trying to imply, the end of all gods, but we never actually see the immediate danger of all that could mean to the entire universe. Imagine gods dying, the massive negative impact that it will have across different universes. And nope, let's just insert different joke scenes and all that, and yeah, that's what we got. There were also several concept arts of Gore, how he would look like, and they were just so menacing. You can see them on the screen, how menacing and terrifying he looks. I mean, I guess they wanted to, have that Christian Bale look, because you get this amazing actor, you don't want to make him unrecognizable to the audience. But then again, they could have achieved what they wanted and also added this concept arts, one of them, to make him look even more terrifying than he already did in the movie. But here we are. Also, from a behind the scenes picture, we can see that Lady Sif was going to be part of several scenes, and this picture is a proof of that. How Lady Sif, who was part of Thor's story in the first two movies, is just non-existent. In the third movie, she wasn't even in, and in this movie she's just in two scenes. Like, they just did Lady Sif dirty. An experienced warrior who has fought with Thor for years, and Taika just came in and just destroyed her character. One last deleted scene that I wanted to talk about is Jane transforming into mighty Thor. Like, how can you do this? This was going to be one major scene, and Taika just cut it. If not for this video that someone took, we would never have seen this scene. It's not even in the Marvels assembled for Thor Love and Thunder. Like, how could this be? This is a major part of her arc. She getting transformed into mighty Thor would have been a hell of a scene. And just looking at this, Natalie Portman just put her all into this scene, and it was just cut in favor of more jokes in the movie. Even this deleted badass scene of Valkyrie could have even made the movie 0.1% better. Now let's talk about the comic side of Thor God Butcher, one of the two comics that influenced this movie. If you read these comics, or if you've already read it, you know the injustice that has been done to this comic. Now in this, the movie follows some of the plot points in the comics, like him losing his family, but in the comics he lost a lot more, not just one daughter. In the comics though, he's just crazy. We see him killing gods, we see him massacring dozens of them, nailing them to different places for people to see, and it actually takes 3 Thors. 3! The comics also takes place between 3 timelines: the past, the present, and the future. So we have a past, present, and the future version of Thor, and they are the ones who unite to defeat God. Do you know how powerful God was? He was so powerful that even his new wife called him a god, which sent him into rage, and he killed her because he can't be what he hates. In the end battle with God, the past Thor, who has not yet wielded Mjolnir, we have the present Thor, who has Mjolnir and is part of the Avengers, and then we have the old King Thor, who's lived several millennia and has witnessed death. Is the only god left, I believe, in his time in the future. And with Gore in the comics, in order for him to wipe out all the gods, he just grew tired of going around and killing them for years and years and hundreds of years. So do you know what he did? He built a god bomb. I'm not going to go into the details on the things that he did, the ingredients and all that, but he built it in such a way that it's going to wipe out all the gods at once, instead of the movie where he's going to go to eternity and they will grant him a wish and he will kill all the gods at the same time. He actually built a bomb, a god bomb. That's what it was called. And during the battle, the end fight, it was just on a universal scale. It took the past Thor, who has yet to wield Mjolnir, the present Thor, who wields the hammer, is part of the Avengers, and old King Thor, who's lived for several millennia, and basically everything, almost everything around him is dead. They all unite to fight Gore, and it was just wow. They had to stop the god bomb. One of the Thors went to go and absorb the power of the bomb, and do you know what happened next? people across the universe started praying to Thor. Him being a god amplified his power on a different scale in such a way that he absorbed all the power of the bomb that was supposed to kill all the gods in the universe. That's how powerful Thor became, and in the end they were able to kill God, the god butcher, being who actually deserved his name in the comics instead of the one that we got. Now imagine if this movie had even taken a fraction of what happened in the comics and translated into the movie. Imagine the insanity. Imagine how Taika could have defied expectations and made this Thor movie gritty, dark, had certain comedic elements in it that broke certain tensions in the movie, or made certain parts of the story brief a little. Some may not even have expected this type of movie. Half of the people who know about Gore in the comics and the storyline would have expected it because it's not a fun story. It's not a 90% filled comedy movie that has certain action scenes and one or three emotional ones. Anyway, I hope Kevin Feige has learned from this. I think after Thor Ragnarok, they gave Taika almost all the power in making the movie simply because Thor Ragnarok was very successful and that he brought a different side to the Thor character. Most people enjoyed him. I would have preferred the Infinity War Thor that we got. Like, he was insane. He had some comedic lines in there, but he was also crazily driven on his mission and all that. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you thought of these deleted scenes and this comic counterpart that I explained briefly to you. And I think if you have spare time, you should check the Thor God Butcher comics and you won't be disappointed. Now let me know in the comments below what you thought of Thor Love and Thunder the movie. How was it for you? And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, it helps the channel out, and subscribe and turn on that post notification bell not to miss any other video. Now that's it for the video. I know I said it was not going to be a rant, but I think it ended up being one. That's it. As always, Nerdy Sage here. See you guys in the next one.